Good morning, all of you. Today, let me take a poem by Rabindranath Tagore. The title of the poem is Where the Mind is Without Fear. You all know Rabindranath Tagore was born in West Bengal. Tagore, he was born May 7th, 1861, Calcutta, India, died August 7, 1941. He was a Bengal poet, short story writer, song composer, playwright, essayist, and painter. He introduced new prose and verse forms and the use of colloquial language into Bengali literature. He was highly influenced in introducing Indian culture to the West and via verse, and he is generally regarded as the outstanding creative artist of early 20th century India. In 1913, he became the first non-European to receive the Nobel Prize for Literature. I shall read the poem, Where the Mind is Without Fear, and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by you into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. The first two lines of the poem, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the knowledge is free. So, in these two lines, the poet prays to the Almighty that his countrymen should be free from any fear of oppression or forced compulsion. He wishes that everyone in his country has his head held high in dignity. In other words, according to him, in a truly free country, every person should be fearless and should have a sense of self-dignity. In the second line of Where the Mind is Without Fear, the poet dreams of a nation where knowledge would be free. Education should not be restricted to the upper class only, but everybody should be allowed to acquire knowledge. Not only that, the children should learn freely from the nature and the world around them. They should not be forced to memorize some lessons, and this is Tagore's typical concepts of the education. The next lines, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. In the two lines, poet emphasizes the unity of not only of his countrymen but also of the entire world. He thinks there should be no division among people based on their caste, creed, color, religion, or other baseless superstitions. In other words, prejudices and superstitions should not divide the people in groups or break their unity. The next two lines, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. In line number 5 of Where the Mind is Without Fear, the poet Rabindranath Tagore would like to have a nation where people are truthful. They should not be superficial and words should not come out from the depth of their hearts. In the sixth line of the poem, the poet wants everyone to work hard to receive and reach their whole, and in the long run to reach perfection. So I shall repeat, in the sixth line of the poem, the poet wants everyone to work hard to reach their goal, and in the long run to reach perfection. He thinks they should not be tired by working. People should be lazy and ignoring their work. So this is a message he would like to pass in these two lines. The next two lines, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit. In line number 7, the poet compares reason or logical thinking to a clear stream. Into the next line compares dead habits or superstitious beliefs to a dreary desert. So he wants the stream of reason not to lose its way into the desert of prejudices. In short, people's thought should be monitored by rational thinking, not by superstition. Logic should rule over old baseless beliefs. So I shall go to the next two lines, where the mind is led forward by you into ever widening thought and action. So in line number 9 and 10, the poet wishes his countrymen to be progressive and broad-minded. He wants that their minds are led forward to ever widening thought and action by the Almighty. In short, we should not be open-minded and do something unusual or extraordinary, overcoming the narrowness of mind. I shall go to the next two lines. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. The next two lines. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. So in the final line of the poem, the poet addresses the God as Father. He asks him to awaken his country into such a heaven of freedom where the above conditions met. To make it clear, the poet prays to the Almighty to rise or lift his country to such heights where freedom would be realized at its best. In turn, he is actually praying that God awakens his countrymen so that they come out from the darkness of ignorance, prejudices, disunity, and all other evils. Here a great addition from our reader suggests that Rabindranath Tagore wants to awaken the God within us to free our mind from shakeless and bondage. It's not involving God. It's not invoking God, but using it as metaphor for the higher self within us. This interpretation is beautiful and cannot resist the urge to add it here. So thank you very much.